came up and he said, this is the strangest thing I've ever had said to me. Why on earth aren't you on an e-bike? Hi, so I'm just back from the show. This is the next day and just sorting out a few things. I've got some cool little things. I've got, when I was speaking to the guys from Old Man Mountain, they also do axles. They do the Robert Axle project, which is this. And they produce axles for everybody, everything. And they also produce now, I was just given this, I think they were handing them out to people. I'll just try if I can open it. But it's because SRAM introduced what they call the universal derailleur hanger. Because for years and years and years, every single brand of bike, even the models in a range, had a different, what they call a Mech hanger. I'm just trying to see, oh, that's a Mech hanger. So this is a Mech hanger. This one was unique to this bike, and every bike you buy probably has a different Mech hanger. But this one has got a UDH, what they call a UDH hanger on it. So this is the new design, which comes on my frames now. So this hanger will fit any bike that's got the UDH rear dropout. And because of that, people are now producing aftermarket gear hangers. So this one is from the actual, sorry, people are just, that's it, Robert Axle project. Haven't actually opened this yet, but it's quite cool. I think it's got their logo on it. I think it's a very simple thing. It's nothing elaborate, but it's just the hanger which holds your derailleur on. So your derailleur bolts onto that, and then your axle, your frame axle, rear axle goes into the hanger. So it's all together. And then obviously with the new SRAM electronic gearing, you can take this off and put the rear derailleur directly to the frame. I'm not a big fan of that because see, these were made to be a weak point. So if your rear derailleur got caught in something, it would bend this or snap it and save your frame. Because a lot of frames obviously can't be repaired. If they're aluminium, steel frames are fine because you can re-weld and you can take off and replace it. Same with titanium. But with aluminium, if the frame snaps, you've had it, your frame's knackered. And same goes with carbon. You know, it's a big expense. Whereas if you've got a hanger like this, and this is much, much cheaper to replace. So that's the idea of a replaceable hanger. So this one, yeah, like I say, it's just got Robert Axle Project written on it. Don't know if you can see that. But yeah, cool little thing. Say they were giving them away in the show. So I imagine that'll find a way onto a bike soon. Filming was okay. I sort of wish, I've just ordered today another mic. These mics are good, but you've obviously I only had one. So I didn't, in the end, I didn't use it. I just used the microphone in the camera, because if you turn this on, then it turns the camera mic off, and then all you can hear is this. So wherever you hold this, that's what you hear. And I've watched someone else who did a video from the same show, and she fell foul of that because she obviously didn't hold the mic in the right place all the time. So there was times in the video where you couldn't hear a thing. But yeah, so I've just ordered a pair of new mics. So they do. This was £145. It's the full kit. It's got a charging case, I believe. Oh, I've got a nice little case in it as well. Look at that. What do you reckon? Little carry case. And inside we have, I think that's probably dead cats. They're the little fluffy things that go on top of the mic. Charging cable, silicone packet, and then the mics themselves. I'm loving this little case. It's padded, which is good. Let's just open that. And in here we should have two mics. Is that sealed? Yes, it is. Just peel that off. And that should open it, I think. Yeah. Oh, look at that. How neat is that? And, oh, they're working. That's nuts. It's because I've opened it, I suppose. Oh, yeah. They're charged. Look at this is the case for the camera, so you get a little recharge case. DJI's really got it sorted. There's 2 batteries in there, look, and they're still fully charged. And you put the batteries in there for your camera, and they're held in there, and if you need a spare one. I've used this once, swapped a battery once in the camera that I'm filming on now. But yeah, I'm also filming on this. So this is the camera I'm talking about, the DJI. It's a great little camera, but this one is the GoPro, obviously. I still like the GoPro. I'm going to keep using it, as you can see. But it'll have its uses, but not so much. If anything is at all wobbly in the dark in the woods, GoPro no good. So, I've got a cap, because it was the 25th anniversary of Halo wheels. So they've been going 25 years, I can't believe it. I was around, the company that makes Halo wheels, Ice and Distribution, started when I first had my first shop. And Halo wheels sort of came around at the same time when I had my bike track. They used to make the Halo, what were they called? White rims. You see them everywhere. I forget what they're called now. Not Chaos. Anyway, they did a lot of products for dirt jumping when they first started. That's where it all kicked off. And Halo were everywhere, and they still are. Obviously, they sponsor Matt Jones, who does all the crazy stuff, does Red Bull Hardline, and runs their wheels. And hang on a minute, somebody wants me. Right, I'm back. So where was I? I just had to do a. My wife does bikepacking bags, and we just finished doing one. I had to go and give her a hand with the last little bit. But I just wanted to mention something which isn't actually on my website at the moment, but I make I sell fat bike forks, carbon forks, these. Brilliant for, bike packing and whatever. You can use them for anything really, you don't need to be bike packing, but if you want a set of rigid forks, these are £350. I'm trying to keep these in stock if I can. These may be sold, I'm not quite sure yet, but obviously bolt through axle and all the rest of it. But yeah, brilliant. They will be on the website. Stop waving it around, Graham. They will be on the website, as I'm just updating the website as I go. You'll see there's a few more things come on there now. I'm relaunched the Bowtie LS, the Slack fat bike. There aren't any around, so I thought, why not? And it comes either traditional drivetrain or pinion smart shift, so you've got the choice. Pricing will be coming. I'm just sorting out the pricing of pinion. I need to clarify a few things before I publish that price. But if you want a traditional drivetrain gears, as normal, then the frame's $1650. Titanium, really cool long low geometry, and brilliant for up and down. It climbs well, but brilliant on the way down. I need to get one. I've never owned one. I rode a pinion version for quite a while when we made the first one, but that obviously was someone else's bike. So I've never actually owned one myself. But you'll see on the site there's quite a few pictures of the frame and the bike built, and so yeah. There were some other things I was going to talk about actually. I've got an update on the Surly 100. We've got a meeting next week. That's coming. That's some news. The video will be out, I think, next week also. Promo video for the Surly 100. I've seen it. It's cool. I haven't seen the whole thing right through, but it is, yeah. We did a pre-ride of part of the route last year, and it was filmed, and it's taken quite a while to come out, but it's coming out now. And there will be others as well. As the weather gets better, we can actually get out and pre-ride the route fully. At the moment, it's just parts of it are too wet. Understandably, at this time of the year, we've just had rain on rain on rain. So can't do that at the moment. But entries are open. They are filling up. Oh, another little thing. I am filming the Dorset Dirt Dash. I don't know if I've mentioned this already, but I'm filming the Dorset Dirt Dash. It's an event very similar to the Surly 100. It's what got me into this format. I love it. I've ridden it for 2 years. This year I'm just filming. I'm not actually riding it. I will be out if I can. I've got to try and drive, film, ride, film, drive, get around the route and get some good footage. But I think Charlie Hobbs, the guy who runs it, has actually publicised the fact that I'm going to be filming it. So there's no going back now. But I did say I'd do it, so I'm not going to go back on it. But I will be there, and if you plan to do that event, then you'll probably see yourself featured in the video. And then if you obviously want to do our event, it's similar along the same sort of lines, same format, 2 days of riding with a campsite in the middle, but in a completely different terrain, different part of the country. So it gives you a bit of variety. Our event's in July. I think Charlie's event's in May, so you get a bit of a gap. But yeah, 2 events, and hopefully those 2 events will coexist along with each other. We both get on well. Me and Charlie seem to be cut from the same cloth. If you see the picture he put up of me and him together. But yeah. So what else? Right, let me just see. A few other things I've got to sort out. I'll come back to you in a minute. Do you fancy having a look inside a Pro4 hub? Hope Pro4 hub. Hang on then. So this is a Hope Pro4 fat bike, obviously, because you have there's a new Pro 5 that's out, but they don't make it for fat bikes. So this is a fat bike hub. This is a rear hub, and I'll just quickly run through this hub if you want. I'll just take it apart and show you what's inside. So the beauty of these hubs is you don't really need many tools to get it apart. If you've got the luxury of a vise, that really does help a lot, because you can just nip these end caps off. You could do it with a pair of pliers or something like that, but you need to just protect this. If you've got a vise, then it's a wriggle, just a little wriggle like so, and it pops off. And then this is the drive side, obviously. So once you've got that off, you can more often than not pull off the free hub body without a tool. It just pops off, and then inside you've got your pawls. You can see it a little bit on the greasy side. Obviously that's been run for a while, but they're just some pawls inside. I'll show you what those are now. So the pawls are the little spring clips you see in here. If I take this green thing as a dust seal, I'll just pop that off a minute. That just pushes off as well. You can replace, whoops, you can obviously buy this as a spare. Pro 5s don't have this, they have a much better system, but this is, like I say, Pro 4s don't come with it yet. I'll just give it a bit of a wipe with a cloth, and you can see a bit easier then what's going on. But when you hear the ratchet sound of a hub, this is what causes that ratchet, that rat-a-tat-tat-tat-tat. Is the pawls going around in the hub, in the hub shell. I'll show you both sides of it. So in here you can see now these are the pawls. There's a little spring in there. I'll take this out in a minute. But in there there's a spring which pushes that little pawl out. So as the hub goes around like this, the pawl springs out. So when it's released, it springs out, and then going this way they're pushed in when you're freewheeling. And then when you want to drive forward, you push like that and they spring out, and then that pawl grips into the hub, and in the hub you've got what they call a drive ring. So you can see the little ratchet rings, little serrated edges in there, and that's what the teeth dig into. So these teeth, you can probably see it better now, rotate round, and when you pedal they dig in. And a lot of people, you'll hear the term engagement, and it's the distance from the click to pedaling forward. So when you're freewheeling, the longer the less pawls, the bigger, the slower the engagement. So your engagement will be when you pedal. It's from sort of when you pedal to when it actually engages and moves forward. So the more engagements you've got, the quicker the more pawls you've got, or the more engagements, the quicker the the drive of the hub, the more instant the drive is. So a lot of hubs now, the Pro 5's got more than this, obviously. This has only got 4 pulls, what they call pulls. And a lot of the newer hubs now have got a lot more engagement. The new Halo hub, which I saw at Core Bike just recently, Core Bike's got 150. I think this is, do you know, I can't remember, I think this is 60 maybe, but it's not that, it's still good, but it's nowhere near as good as a lot of the new ones now. So I'll just pop a pawl out and you can see what I mean. So in here, so you can see what I'm doing. So you can just nip that out. It just slots into the, so that's a pawl. I'm not sure if you can see that. It's got a bit of a shape to it. There is a certain direction you have to put it in. And then inside behind the pawl is the spring. So there's like a little mini leaf spring. I'll just get the grease off and you can see it a bit better. I'll find a picture of this so you can see it. Obviously it's trying to see it in my hand. So there's the little spring. And there's the pawl. So when you hear pawls and springs mentioned, that's what it is. And you can replace these. Obviously with the beauty of a Hope hub amongst a lot of other stuff is you can get all of these parts easily to replace anything. So this can be fixed and repaired. Should this spring wear out or the pawls wear out, you can just replace it rather than having to buy the whole lot. And obviously in here as well, there's bearings that you can replace. So these are sealed bearings that can be pressed in and out. You've got bearings either side. You can buy all of those. So it's a really, Hope hubs, I love Hope hubs. They are expensive, but they're well worth investing in. I have a thing about wheels and I have a thing about simplicity and things that work. And obviously they're made in this country up in Yorkshire. So yeah. So I'll just pop those back in and get it all back together again. But I just wanted to show you what goes behind this. Oh, by the way, this free up body is a SRAM fixture. It's what they call XD. So if you hear the word XD driver, this is an XD driver, and because it's got this flat area here, and there's a screw threaded section where the cassette goes on and then tightens up. And then these little things locate, these slots locate the drive. The other system is so this is the new 12-speed Shimano freer body. This is called Microspline. So different from this one. You can see here this is XD, this is SRAM, this is Shimano. These are both 12-speed. Or this, actually you can buy 11-speed to go on XD drivers, but this is exactly the same. This is a Hope one again, exactly the same number of pawls, exactly the same, just a different pattern for a different make of cassette. So this has got the little micro splines. And you may hear people say HD driver, the old Shimano HD, which is, I've got it in a hub, I haven't actually got it out. So this is an HD type. See, the splines here are much bigger. This is very, very traditional. You'll see this on loads and loads of different hubs, different manufacturers. A lot of cheaper hubs or cheaper bikes will have this on. It's very, very, very common. It's been around for a long, long time, but obviously it's been superseded now. One of the faults, this is a Hope hub again, but one of the faults, this is an aluminium body, free hub body, and the cassette, sometimes some of the cheaper steel cassettes, they can dig into the aluminium and make them hard to get off. Whereas if you've got something like this, the XD driver, you don't have that issue at all. All you have to do is make sure you put grease on this before you put the cassette on. It stops it creaking and it also stops it seizing on. Same for the Shimano Microspline really. It doesn't pay. It pays to put a bit of grease on everything really when you assemble it. Just to means you can, if it's left on a long time, you can get it off. So that's it. That's the free up bodies. These out. We can have a look and see what we got. That's the beauty of Hope stuff. It's pretty tool free, to be honest. Unless you want to take the bearings out, then obviously it's best to get a bearing press. You can tap the bearings out without a press, but it's not advisable. You can make your own presses with sockets and things, because you need to, when you tap a bearing in and out, do not press on the black section, because you'll damage the bearing. When you're putting it in, I'm talking about. So when you press it in, you don't want something resting on that black section, the black seal. It's got to be pressing on the outer and the inner race to push it in squarely, and it also needs to go in dead square. So if you're looking to change your own bearings on stuff, you know, do your own repairs, get yourself a bearing press. I'm not going to degrease this hub, as it were. I'm not going to spray degreaser on it, because it'll get in the bearings. So all I'm going to do is just wipe out as much as I can without using degreaser. Obviously the thorough way to do this, if you are replacing bearings, then take the bearings out and then you can thoroughly degrease the whole freer body. But to be honest, this isn't too bad, to be honest. I don't think this has been an awful used. Oh, actually, which one is this? No, this is the 197, so this hasn't done an awful lot. The 177 hub I've got, the narrower one, has done lots and lots of miles. It still goes on just fine. Right, that's got most of it off, as you can see. So I'll just go over now and clean these. These can be cleaned, actually. I might just put these in a bit of degreaser and give them a swill off. Just bear with me, I've just got a bit of degreaser. There's loads of degreasers around, even GT85 or WD-40. Oh, that's just no good, it's got no top on it. Any of those are a degreaser. So GT85 or WD-40 is a degreaser. This is why you should never spray it on your bike. Hang on, I don't often use degreasers, so I can't find any. Just give that a bit of a clean up. So it's not much to come off anyway. You can just check everything as you go. The things that tend to break are the little leaf springs. They can snap, so sometimes your click won't be as loud as or as consistent as you think, as it has been. And it's usually the sign that the spring is broken or they're starting to wear out. So simple to get, simple to fix. So that's that. Through your fingers and a dry cloth, nice and clean, and then we'll pop them back in the freer body. You can change, I'll also show you something else that you can change. End caps. You can switch end caps depending on the type of hub you've got. If you've got a standard, you can get converters to go from standard to boost. You can get different end caps for that. And obviously you can get, so this has got a quick release. Remember the old quick release end caps, where the narrow sort of wire quick release would go through, and you can take these off and switch it for a bolt through type, which is this, which is where the axle goes through. A big 12mm axle will go through, so you can switch these around. The Hope hub, that's an end cap. Silver one is on the drive side, black one is on the disc side. So we'll get this back together. So I tend to put the springs in first. What I tend to do is just pinch them a little bit with my fingers, and it will pop in the hole in the slot and pop it in, and there it's in. So when the paws back in, it just springs against that. You can see it springing against it. So you pop all your springs back in, and once you've got all your springs in, make sure you put your pawl in the right way around. Start, because the spring is not full width, so you put it in so far and it'll tap on the spring, and then all you do is with something sharp, you can just press the spring in like so, and the pawl drops in, and you just work your way around, push your spring in, pawl drops in. Sometimes if you're not careful, something will fall out. So just be careful where everything is, you don't drop anything. That's it, they're all in. Then you gotta, if you put it in dry like this, it'll be really, really, really loud. So I'm gonna put a little bit of grease around here before I put it back together. There's something else I need to mention while I've got this apart. Obviously I'll probably clean in here as well. Not too much, I'm not going to go too mad, I'm not going to put degreaser in there. But in here, I've mentioned this before, if you ever take your freer body off, sometimes there's something in here. This is a magnet on the end of here, so I'll just put that in there and it'll pop this up. So there's a washer. So on every freer, just about every freer body around, there'll be a washer between the freer body, and so there's a bearing there and there's a bearing inside the hub. What you don't want to do is those two bearings to hit each other, because this jams up. So what will happen is sometimes I'll just leave that out a minute. So you'll put this back together and everything will seem wonderful until you put it in the bike and tighten things up. You pinch the two sides together and then this doesn't spin. You think, oh my goodness, what's happened to my wheel doesn't turn. It's like a fixed wheel, and it's because you've left out, I'll just be careful I haven't just sprung those pores out. You've left the washer out, this washer. So this is important. I tend to keep a few spares of these. I've got quite a few of these just in case you ever drop one, or sometimes you'll pull this off, not notice there's a bearing stuck to that with the grease, put it down and you'll lose the washer, and then you'll put it back and forget all about it. I'm going to just quickly give this a wipe round inside while I've got it off, just to give it a bit of a check. I doubt you'll ever need to change that drive ring. So what I'm going to do now is put this back together. So pop that washer on. I'm also going to put the dust cover back on here, which just pushes on. There's a little groove in the hub, in the freer body for it to pop into. There, that's it. They've updated this. This isn't the best design, as I'll show you in a minute. It's a bit tricky to get it back in again. Right, a bit of grease. Again, I use my trusty TF2 grease in a nozzle, as I keep saying. I just put a little bit in there around that washer and the bearing face. Not much. And then I put a little bit around some of the pawls. Let's give it a little bit of squirt in there. And then pop it back together. And then what you do is, to get the freer body in, is just twist it the way it clicks and then push at the same time and it will pop in. And then what you need now for a Hope hub is you need the tool. They have a specific tool. It's basically a Pro4 seal tool. And what you're supposed to do is you'll have your wheel built, and what Hope advise you to do is to have the wheel built and then put pressure on it to push that seal in. Oh, it's gone in. And you'll hear a click and in it goes. More often, don't hit it with a hammer. If you put this on here, this is with the green seal I'm talking about, if you ever have a Pro4 and you think, oh, I'll just tap that on with a hammer, what will happen is there's float in here, things aren't tight, and sometimes it'll go off center and you'll split it and you have to get a new one. But if you do it that way, put the wheel, normally you have a built wheel, and put some pressure on it and push on it nice and level, it'll pop in just like that. And you'll know it's in because it'll spin freely. So there you go. That's pawls and springs done in a Hope hub. The only other thing you must remember is to put your end cap back on. But obviously if this is a built wheel, which it normally would be, and you put your cassette back on and then push in your end cap. Because some cassettes won't come off without taking the end cap off. Right, there we go. That was a bit of an impromptu. I wasn't planning on doing that at all. Not this week anyway. But I was just looking for something to do, and I thought I'll just show you inside a hub. And I ended up servicing the freer body. So there we go. Okay, that's it for now. I will catch you later. Oh, the sun is out. The sun is out. Look at this. Look at this. thing up there. Oh boy. So, it's a long time coming. Bear with me, I'm just going to drink this before it gets cold. Chap's just been to pick up, we did a bag repair, bikepacking frame bag. We altered something for him, he's just picked that up. Sheila does, we do basic bags, nothing crazy. We make bags like this. Yeah, sure, she makes bags like this. This is for a fat bike, it's really wide, but this is one of the second ones we made, I think. We've improved things a bit since, but 2 compartments, 2 big compartments, and then we just do strapping, so you can strap it wherever you want. I've got another idea for a different bag now, which we're gonna bring out soon. It's mainly just for me, just for my use, but we'll see. It's not the easiest thing to stitch because you need the right sewing machine to get around the tight corners, and we've just got normal like domestic ones. We haven't got anything industrial. So there's limitations to what you can sew. Yeah, great bags. I've got one on my Raven. I've used it now for a couple of years, and it's still going fine. And because it's we use this X-Pack, is it? X21 or it's called. Anyway, this material is waterproof but very light and very strong. So this whole bag weighs about 450 grams with waterproof zips. So very, very light and very strong. So yeah, proved to be very reliable. As you notice in this video, I've done I took a Hope hub apart and did a little mini service on it, really. But one thing I wanted to tell you is when I went to Core Bike Show, I got an invite to go to Hope. So there will be a video coming very soon, Hope factory tour. So I'm going to go there and spend a day at Hope and try and get some insight into stuff. I've known them for a long time, so hopefully I can get and have a good old chinwag and yeah, have a good chat with them. I've also been speaking to Redshift. I saw them at the show as well, and I'm hoping to get some parts from them. Not so much to review, but what I want to do is I want to build this bike. I want to build Herbie as a drop bar gravel bike as well. So I'll have 2 options on the website. You can either buy it as flat bar or drop bar, and it'll be a proper gravel bike. It's got suspension. It'll have 29er wheels like I've got, but it's designed for gravel with drop bars. It'll have Redshift seat post, Redshift stem. So that's going to do. I'm going to try and do it as a spec. It'll have different wheels. It won't have those. When I build it up, it'll probably have halo wheels, because I want to do it as a slightly more affordable spec. And I'm looking at micro shift gearing, just to bring the price down. So you can have the 2 options. You can have the all singing, all dancing version, or you can have something a bit more affordable. I wasn't intending to do a sales pitch, but I thought I'd just mention it. So the show was good, yeah. Met a few brands. Obviously saw Manitou as well. So that bike will also, in the production version, will have Manitou suspension forks, not SIDS. I think it's the X. I can't remember. Can't remember. So many things to remember. I had 2 orders for frames the last 2 days. They were ordered this morning. 2 fat bike frames, custom built. So they're based around the bow tie, but both people wanted to run drop bars. So I've adjusted the geometry to suit, and a few other things. So they'll be around soon. That'll be good. So drop bar fat bikes. Interesting. I just need to check something on my bike, because it's a bit slow. This is a brand X dropper post, and some of them have got an air valve under the seat, so you can pressurise them a bit better when they get slow. And then for some reason they stopped doing it, and I can't remember whether this one has got an air valve or not. I hope it has. because if so I can speed it up. I'll just take this cradle off and just see if there's a valve. Hopefully there's an air valve under there. If there isn't, then so be it. Let's have a look. Yes. Oh yes. Good. Yeah, so in there there's a Schrader valve. So I'm going to put some air in this. See what pressure's in there. I can't remember what pressure's supposed to be in these for the life of me. I'm a bit rusty when it comes to figures and things because I'm not in the workshop day in, day out now. So I have to sort of re-educate myself. See if that makes much difference. Yeah, for some reason they stopped putting valves in the top, which was a real pain. Because once they're flat, you can't do anything about it. But let's just see how quick that is now. That's better. Look at that. Let's put this back in there. I always find fitting saddles onto seat posts is a bit of a, it's just luck if it just pops on like that. Mad, isn't it? And you try and get your seat as level as possible then to give you a nice bit of comfort. Something I was going to mention also is I'm looking for places to ride, people to ride with. If you've got a suggestion of somewhere to come and explore, you fancy having a ride out, let me know. That should be alright. That's about right. Hello. I forgot my mic, so you'll have to put up with dodgy audio. It's Sunday afternoon and the sun is shining, so I'm out on the bike and presently sighting up a 1 in 4 hill called Portway. Oh, I don't normally feel like this. Don't stop. I've not felt that puffed for years, which doesn't smell good for riding out 50 miles. Oh. That's different. I've just... I didn't want to film it. I don't like filming. Not so much confrontation, but I didn't have a chance anyway because I'd have to take the camera out and purposely film it. But what am I on about? Guy, I just stopped above here as you drop into a thing. There was somebody coming the other way, so I waited. And he came up and he said, this is the strangest thing I've ever had said to me. Why on earth aren't you on an e-bike? He just came straight out with it like that. Why on earth don't you ride an e-bike? And what do I say? So I said, well, it's in, what's the date today? In about 18 days, I'm 70 years old, and I'm quite happy to ride a normal bike, thank you. I don't know him, I don't know the bloke, but he was on an e-bike, obviously, but he was really, why on earth don't you ride an e-bike? What's the matter with you? Anyway, I just said that and rode off, but it was this, I've never had anyone, the other way round, yeah, it's usually me the other way round, but, well no, I don't actually say that to anybody, but I've never had anyone say that to me before. I'm pretty sure he's gone the other way. Well, I didn't want to film him, it's not the sort of thing I want to film, but I just had to stop, it just took my breath away. Why on earth aren't you riding an e-bike? I suppose in his world it was normal. I don't know him from Adam, but anyway, sorry, I just had to stop and record that. Just took my breath away a bit. Right, it's muddy down there. I've got to go down that way, and I'm trying to avoid all the mud possible because I really don't want to. The weather's so lovely, it's beautiful. The trails are grippy. This bike's set up perfectly now. Got tyre pressures spot on. Forks are perfect. Everything is perfect. Bar height, seat height, everything is perfect. So leave well alone now, Graham. And anyway, so I'm going to mount. Hello. So yesterday, first of all, I'm out again, same track, same route up to the top, but on my Raven today, my bikepacking bike, the best. And yesterday afternoon and today, I have to say, I don't know whether it's the sun, because I've been out in the sun quite a lot. As soon as it came out, I was pegged out in it, or I've gone back to saunas, and the result is I feel amazing. I don't think I've stopped smiling in 2 days. I just feel good. Right, home again. Nice little spin around. Bumped into a few people for a chat, which is always good. Oh, the weather's lovely, beautiful, as I say. So the sun is out. I think it's time to get a certain bike down. Good old Herbie. Cool. So I'll see what this new mic's like. They're tiny little things. It's got this little fluffy hat on. See how that performs. Right, I'm going to get Herbie back out. I've decided the weather's good, so it's time to get it out. This bike will be great for training on. So, like today, I've been out sort of trying to do a Zone 2 training session, but it didn't really work out because it's so hilly. So I ended up on Paynes at Beacon again. Same sort of trails I normally do, which was not the plan at all. But we'll get there. I've just got to get the miles in. I don't know what I did today. What did I do? 13 miles, hour and a half, average speed 9 miles an hour, so it's pretty slow. I did a lot of pottering around slowly, so that was the plan. Sorry, this isn't very interesting. Anyway, I'm going to get this bike back together. I've got to get some air in the tyres because these are the wheels I use. Hope Pro4s. And I've got super duper tyres. These are the Vittoria Peyote XC race tyres, 2.4, 29 by 2.4. And they're super, super quick. But much to my thing, they're not grippy in the shingly dirt if you go piling into a corner, which I learnt. But apart from that, brilliant, super fast. So I'm hoping I'm going to pump these up and get some road miles in, or some hardish trail miles in, and just get my fitness back up. So there we go for another video. Bike's done. Bike's all ready to go. I'm going to go out on it tomorrow. That won't feature in this video. I'm probably going to do a little bit in next. Whether I film it or not, I don't know. But it's a bit more of a training ride. But yeah, Herbie is built. Quite looking forward. It's very different for me because obviously it's not a fat bike, but it just takes me back. But I don't have the confidence to ride it anywhere crazy. But I do love just blasting around on it. The geometry is quite different. And I am looking at doing a fat bike in this geometry, but yeah, I love this. Long, slightly slack. I will put all the details up next week when I do I'm going to do a little feature on this. But anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. It's a bit of a variety of things. I wasn't intending to do half of it at all. Like most of my vlog videos each week, it's sort of made up as I go along. Pretty much the same next week. Probably more riding next week, I would imagine, because I've got to get out and pre-ride this route. I'm also going to try it Herbie. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you liked it. Please subscribe, share, like, please. Liking it really does help. It really does help my algorithm and people get to see stuff. I get a lot of fresh people seeing my videos and they always say, oh, I didn't know you did videos and I didn't know this and I didn't know that. So when you like the video, just tick the like button. It just helps it get out there to more people. Right, okay, sorry to waffle on. I will catch you later. I hope you have a fantastic week. The sun is out. Please take care. Look after yourselves. Enjoy yourselves. See you next week. Bye.